If you put my, and I even like to say this, but if you put my resume, nobody, I'm blacker than Tyler Perry.
Really? Really? You really think so? Let's put that one to the test today. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Omizi, and today I'm here to talk about Kenya Barris and why I think he's worse than Tyler Perry. But before we get into that, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you hit that join button, make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, all those things, and have the notification bell on for when I live stream and drop other videos. So I had just got finished watching You People, Netflix's original movie starring Jonah Hill and Eddie Murphy and Nia Long, the one that's supposed to be highly acclaimed and audiences loved it. Yeah, it was garbage. And it led me to think that Kenya Barris continues to do these things on purpose, that he continues to perpetuate black stereotypes in his own films and his own works of art for his own pleasure. I just don't understand that about him. If you haven't seen You People and you want a little quick recap, because trust me, you don't want to see it, You People is a story about Jonah Hill, who's a Jewish man living in Los Angeles, and Lauren London, who is an African-American woman who's Muslim living in Los Angeles. And it's a rom-com, how we fell in love, How I Met Your Mother type story. Julia Louis-Dreyfus plays Jonah Hill's Jewish mom, who is pushing Jonah Hill, a Jewish man with a black, gay, lesbian stud friend, I don't know, that has a podcast where he essentially tells people over and over again how much he understands about the culture, into finding like his bride and, you know, the next phase in his life and when he's gonna go get serious. And Lauren London is, you know, the same thing that they always are. Typical daddy's girl who can't find a man that's good enough to fit her daddy's needs, just dating woes, nothing spectacular about her character at all. So the problem lies when these two uncompatible characters fall in love and get together, even though there's like so much controversy surrounding their relationship. I mean, trust me, when I say there's so much controversy and these people are so uncompatible, they couldn't even do an on-screen kiss. They had to CGI the kiss scene in the movie. Eddie Murphy's character comes in as Lauren London's Muslim pro-black dad who is all for the black causes and is very no nonsense. And the rest of the movie just plays out as like race-based comedy that's supposed to be for the woke people, or you know what's crazy? I don't even want to put that on this movie because I don't know who this movie is for. Every time Kenya Barris writes a movie, although he says it's for everyone, it's never for anybody. Julia Louis-Dreyfus has a joke when first meeting Lauren London about why cops are doing all these bad things to black people and how fucked up it is. Eddie Murphy's going on monologues about race that I just don't believe about him to, you know, fully understand. It seems forced, to be honest with you. There's a scene where Julia Louis-Dreyfus, her husband, and Nia Long and Eddie Murphy are at the dinner table at the big family meeting, and there's a reference to how the Holocaust is compared to slavery, and that whole scene ends when Julia Louis-Dreyfus by accident burns the kufi that's sitting on Eddie Murphy's head that was gifted to him by Louis Farrakhan. Like, this movie is
where they go. I am supposed to get. Oh shit! Grab some bus! Oh my god!
And the race-based comedy continues throughout the movie. I mean, I think that Kenya Barris thinks that black people are just so surface level. One of the biggest gripes that I have about this movie is that in an attempt to get to know each other, Eddie Murphy and Jonah Hill go on an excursion in which Jonah Hill is taken to a barbershop filled with Crips while he's wearing like red, I believe, or something. They just hate him for being in this barbershop.
Why don't you do me a favor and slide up out of that dead hoodie for me?
Your hoodie, nigga. Wrong color. Why don't you take that shit off?
You sure you want to do that? I mean, who am I? But you know, what's going to happen after you take that off? What's next? Fighting for your manhood every day till you get tired and tap out. Just the kind of never-ending vicious cycle you want to get subjected to just because you want to take your hoodie off.
And let me also mention Anthony Anderson has Kenya Barris in a chokehold. He's in every single project, and so is Dion Cole. But then Eddie Murphy, after that awkward encounter at a barbershop with very lackluster dialogue, takes him to the basketball court, and there's this assumption that Jonah Hill can't play basketball. And all in all, he ends up hooping on these guys and puts on such an embarrassing show that the guy at the end of the scene takes off his shoes and gifts Jonah Hill his basketball shoes as almost like a nigga pass type moment. Kenya, you've got to stop. Look, race-based comedy is not new. It's not new to any form of media, but I swear to you, these jokes are ripped off like Snapple bottles and TikToks and Facebook. There is nothing new, original. Even the way that it's executed is so 1980s. I mean, this is like Beverly Hills Cop 2.0, all the race-based comedy from that and from any other movie from like the 80s that truly, it's tired, it's old. There's new things to talk about. And for the love of God, if Kenya Barris does this little panning thing that he does with the cameras every 2 seconds in this movie one more time, I'm gonna snap.
Who do you think your audience is?
Hopefully everybody, because I think we're not monolithic, black, white, rich, poor, you know what I'm saying?
And so, although that movie is trash, I really want to talk about why I have a gripe with Kenya Barris and the way that he goes about creating things. He claims that his movies don't have an audience, and he also claims that black people aren't monolithic. However, when I look across the board at the things that he's been a part of so heavily, like his influence has been a part of so heavily, I see the same tired things over and over again. Tired black tropes, tired race-based comedy, and did I mention any and everybody was gonna be mixed? At any chance he gets, he is gonna put a racially ambiguous or a mixed person into the show. Is he ever gonna uplift somebody of a darker hue? Probably not. Maybe if they're a bigger star, Eddie Murphy might be like the darkest skinned person and Deion Cole who has some dirt on him from somewhere. But everybody else is going to be of the fair skin. Even if the phenotype, Punnett square doesn't make a lot of sense. And that's always open for interpretation, but I felt like You People was a perfect opportunity for him to, introduce a little bit more melanin into his casting pool. But Eddie Murphy and Nia Long, two brown-skinned people, end up having two lighter shaded skinned kids, fair-skinned kids, in Lauren London and Taco from Odd Future. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And I understand that black people aren't monolithic, as you say. However, when I look at Black AF, when I look at Grownish, when I look at Blackish, when I look at You People, hell, when I look at Mixedish, everybody has to be some sort of, high yellow. I don't have a problem with these people. Kenya Barris just contradicts himself because he says one thing in the media, but his art doesn't reflect that. And then when it comes to the tired tropes, I mean, a lot of his depictions of black culture, flashy this, flashy that, I have on rims, wheels, I'm a black guy, I need to let you know that I'm a black guy. If there's one thing I can guarantee out of a Kenya Barris movie, is that the main black male character is gonna have some sort of Gucci printed tracksuit that's the same print as the top and the bottom. It's never gonna fail. They're always gonna have big chains. It's never gonna fail. Black people aren't a monolith. However, every time you portray black people, they are monolithic. And you're not down with the culture by having Nipsey Hussle tracks be the score of the movie, or taking them through Inglewood and having them say the most Inglewood things in the world. Like, we get it, Kenya Barris. We absolutely understand. You're black. That's perfectly fine. But your dialogue doesn't have to continue to tell us all the time that they're black. And that's what happened in You People, Black as Fuck, Grownish, Mixedish. That's the same thing that happened. And even in You People, let's circle back. The dialogue for anybody Jewish in that movie was, well, I'm Jewish and these are my plights. Everything for you is surface level. There's never anything deeper. These people have no personalities at all. You had seasons of Grownish, but all I can tell you about Dre was that he was a black man with black issues. Nothing other than that. And they're surface level, all of it. Speaking of surface level and like blatant displays of who you are, even the names of some of these projects don't leave much to mystery. Again, we get it. You don't have to title these things the way that you do.
They tested, but they came out with some names, and You People, I was like, I'm not doing that. And then I went to bed, and I remember my dad used to be like, You People, you know what I'm saying? Like, it had all these double meanings, and it actually worked. White people will be like, You People, black people will be like, You know what I'm saying? Right. I feel like it landed in a way that I felt like it was what the movie is.
Like, for the culture, whose culture is this? This is not black culture. This is not something that a mass of black people identify with. And then all you do is paint the black people who identify with some of these things in a box. Take a look at his show Black AF and Blackish. Features Dre, features Kenya Barris, Anthony Anderson, and Kenya Barris being two black men who are supposedly come into money, right? Supposed to be two separate shows. Dre is seeking validation from white people. Kenya Barris is seeking validation from white people in that show. Dre feels like his status is tied to material things like clothes and shoes. Kenya Barris thinks that his status is tied to his clothes and his shoes. This is the same show with the same depictions of black people. Hey, I just got rich and I need to show it off. It's tired. And I hate the fact that you even attempt to compare yourself to a Tyler Perry. Because let's be honest, Kenya Barris, you're not better than Tyler Perry. I've seen some of the things that you've worked on. Girlfriends was a great show. Intergalactic, apparently it was good. But nevertheless, every time that you get to put your big brain on something, the projects that you come off are the exact same. Hey, I'm a big show-offy black guy. I married somebody who's biracial or racially ambiguous. I have a beautiful biracial or racially ambiguous child. Anybody around me that's dark skinned is going to be a pain. And I'm here to show off my status symbols. And I need white validation. Your stories lack depth. They lack anything relatable to a mass audience of people. And honestly, they come off as arrogant. Like, a lot of your characters come off as arrogant and in-your-face people. The thing that I can say about Tyler Perry, I think his plays were great, phenomenal, to be honest with you, and it's revolutionary with what he is doing, employing different people who may not look like me all the time, but I can see my hue represented in Tyler Perry's work. I can see other people who are darker than me's hue represented in Tyler Perry's work, and people who are lighter than me represented in Tyler Perry's work. Anytime I look for somebody in a Kenya Barris flick, it's lacking. I also think that although it got tired at a point in time and people were so upset about how he might have portrayed men in some instances, Tyler Perry's stories were about triumph. And I get it. A tale as old as time. A lot of them had good life lessons involved in them. Your story is about what happens when niggas get money and become hella fucking ignorant. So that's why I believe Kenya Barris can't be better than Tyler Perry, is blacker than Tyler Perry. Honestly, you make black people look terrible in your depictions of work, Kenya Barris. And that's just my personal opinion. Listen, man, if I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments section. I might have to do a little talk on this one to get some of these points across differently, but I'd like to have a conversation. How do you feel about Kenya Barris's work? I feel as if he paints us in a box, and the race-based comedy is just tacky. It's not even that it's tacky because it's race-based comedy. Maybe if it were funny, but that's another story for another day, and I could be wrong.